Future-Proof is sponsored by Concordia Dental Healthcare, expert care you can trust.
Hello and welcome back from the break. You're watching Future-Proof, the business television programme looking at the power of emotional intelligence and actually other things too that help us feel safe about our future. My name's Sarah Hopwood, and in the first half you heard me talk about an electronic diagnostic which you are welcome to use. It's on the front page of my website www.sarahhopwood.com, and if you just click on the link that says EQ Diagnostic, that will automatically download, and it's something that you can have fun with. So it's where you are invited to answer questions, and there are words that help you find the nearest thing to you, but the actual scoring comes up in numbers, and it's marked -5 to +5. On the far right hand side of the diagnostic, you've got elements of emotional intelligence. That's from self-motivation, self-awareness, discipline, empathy. It's all about self-regulation and all the things to do with emotion. Remember, emotion is energy in motion. When we respond to something, we usually see an emotional response, energy in motion. That can be from the fluttering of eyes, a nervous flutter of some sort. It can be flushing, to slamming a book shut, to stamping our feet, or what have you. It is energy in motion. In other words, we see a shift. In the first half, I started working through some of the questions in the diagnostic just so that you can be familiar with them. But please, I do invite you to go and download it, have a bit of fun, and just see how emotionally intelligent it says you are. But also, maybe don't believe it, query it and say, actually, I think I could do more in this area or in another area. The other thing about the diagnostic is once you've completed it, if you see, and there's a traffic light kind of scoring system on the right hand side of the page, red being alert, amber being warning, and green meaning rock on, well done, you've got high emotional intelligence. If you see something that you don't understand, that's confusing, so let's say empathy, the word empathy comes up in red. In other words, there's a concern that you don't have empathy of others around you, you're not able to stand in their shoes. Then what you can do is, if you click on that word empathy and then go back and look at the questions, then the questions relating to empathy will actually be highlighted. So it will help you go in and get a better understanding of why you're a red. And if you do change your answer, always make sure it's an honest change. And if you're not sure, ask someone who knows you quite well and saying, look, this is how it's come up the first time, I'm thinking of changing it, what do you think? And they will give you an honest answer. And the brave thing to do is actually to give the diagnostic to someone else and put your name at the top and say, answer all these questions on my behalf, and then compare the two. It doesn't make them right, it doesn't make them right at all, but it can just stretch your mind and see opportunities for consideration, put it that way. So in the first half I was working through some of the questions, so I'm going to continue with that now to look at the questions that you will be answering on the diagnostic. And I might even lean forward a minute and actually move my Mac and scroll down because I know all of the questions aren't quite visible. So I got to where did I get to? Reading others, I'm known as someone. Okay, so question 9, I can build rapport with people from all walks of life. Is that true or not? I think we should, and I certainly plan to be having on this programme interviewing people from all walks of life. That's where we can do so much learning. It's absolutely fantastic, and we should be doing it. We should be demonstrating it to our children too, I believe, anyway. I manage relationships well and build good networks. This is also about what I call 180 or even 360 networking. Go to people who look very different from you and with very different jobs. I listen attentively to others and can easily feed back to them what they have said to me. Now this is a big one because Listening is a very key skill to emotionally intelligent behaviour. Leaders need to be good listening. The days of autocratic leadership, shut up and do what I tell you to do, or do what I do and not what I say, and also amazing autocratic leadership where people have very, very high core values. And yes, you know, if there's a flood, if there's a fire in the building, all those things, we need autocratic leadership. We need to be told what to do it swiftly, and obviously the processes need to be in place to support that autocratic leadership instruction. But generally speaking, collaborative, engaging, and for people to feel very much part of a team and part of the vision of the business and part of the journey of all that's going to happen, and also opportunities of growth, are very, very important. And so listening is key to that. If we don't listen properly, then we're nodding and we're smiling in the right places, but in our hearts all we're doing is preparing to speak, which means we're not hearing what the other person is saying. Or in an argument, I think I've said this before, it's said that you're not listening at all, you're just reloading your gun. So when there's a pause, then you just go off and fire off, if you like, an insult or a difficult question or whatever it may be, or stomp out a room, whatever it may be, of your gun. So another one, I have the ability to be a change catalyst and effectively bring about change. Change is huge, and understanding the human response to change is very important to then driving the change that you want. There's a very, very large corporate that is asking me to address some of their leaders in the UK, but we're also putting that out internationally at the same time. And change is a large, large part of that content. And emotional intelligence not only helps us understand the human response to change, but when we behave emotionally intelligently, we can then drive through the human response to change much more quickly than if we just sit back and let it happen. So if you want significant change in your business, then do develop your ability to think and behave emotionally intelligently as a leader, and your leaders and the leadership cascading down onto the shop floor. I recognise how my feelings and moods can affect those around me. This is a definite, we need to know this. I have the ability to professionally or personally develop the people around me. That's something that I would say about myself, is I am an enabler. I believe it's really important to enable other people, and that is even if it's to enable them to do things that you aren't doing yet. I heard it said, and it's rung true to me, so if I'm cynical, then I'm cynical, but in the UK I think we're very, very good at cheering people on and encouraging them, but we seem to have this caveat which says, as long as you don't overtake me. And it's wrong. It really, really is wrong. We should be enabling other people, even those who excel and go past us, because actually all we're doing is speaking to our own future, and an opportunity will come our way. But also employing people. We should always employ people who are better than us. And I've seen so many managers, particularly managers, employ somebody into their department who they just make sure they're not quite as good as them so that they maintain their authority. And it's really, really bad practice. I have the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people. I'm aware of my weaknesses, but also aware of my strengths. Absolutely, run with your strengths. Be aware of your weaknesses, but run with your strengths. That's Howard Gardner. He never asks if you're intelligent, he asks how you're intelligent. I can laugh at my own foibles and mistakes. Definitely, humour is absolutely crucial to emotional intelligence. We spend too much time beating ourselves up. Have a laugh, and it will really lighten your load. I control and restrain my impulses. This is about doing things on purpose, with purpose. It's about considering, and I've talked about suspension before, but consider, suspend, and then decide. And if you know the PDCA cycle, plan, do, check, act. It's about behaving on purpose, purposefully. I anticipate barriers to my goals. I have the ability to manage conflict, no matter whether it is between others or with someone else. I have the ability to treat people according to their emotional reactions. That's about mirror and matching. There's somebody who's not emotionally as emotionally intelligent as you, then you don't stand there on your platform and start, preaching to them. It's a matter of getting off the platform and going down and meeting them where they are, mirror and matching. So that's NLP if you know about neuro-linguistic programming, and then take them to where you want them to be. I have the ability to suspend my judgment and think before acting, and this is where judgments are made on our core values, on what we know, and the suspension and thinking about it, we should be looking at what is the other person's core values, what are their motives and their intentions, and what else could be going on behind the scenes that I have no idea about. Somebody else, something is pulling their strings, and we need to consider that before we have an auto response to what is going on. So I hope that you've enjoyed this program. Do join me again next time, and have a great week, and do email me sarah@sarahhopwood.com if you have any questions you'd like answered. Thank you very much and have a fab week. See you soon. Take care.